Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Wednesday, the 14th day of August. It's National Creamsicle Day. You a fan of creamsicles? Okay. Love Your Bookshop Day today. National Financial Awareness Day today. And for that reason, we're going to talk with Jordan Goodman today. He
There
is
you go.
America's financial, what is he again? America's Money Answers Man. I knew
Yeah.
I know who I'm talking to. But anyway, we're going to talk to him about it. Financial Awareness Day. Navajo Code Talkers Day. Tattoo Removal Day. Wiffle Ball Day. Social Security Day. World Lizard Day. And Calligraphy Day, all of that stuff happening and much more on this Wednesday. And like I said, we're going to be visiting with Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. It's been a little bit since we talked to him. We tried to talk to him like every month. And then for a while there, like we would be busy or he would be busy. But I'm going to try to get back on schedule because, you know, there's a lot of questions when it comes to the economy and financial things. So
for sure.
He's a good guy to know when it comes to that. You see him on TV all the time talking to all the talking heads. So we'll have him here on the radio with us and our talking heads in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. How often do you need a day to just relax, Heidi?
Often.
According to a survey, the average person feels like they need 60 lazy days a year. That seems like a lot.
That doesn't seem like enough to
They
me.
talked to 2,000 American adults, and they found that many take their do-nothing days very seriously. 1 in 5 plan these days in advance. 11% even mark it on a calendar a few weeks ahead of time. On a typical lazy day, the average person spends 2 hours in bed, an hour eating, 3 hours binge-watching TV or movies, an hour reading, 2 hours scrolling, 3 hours spent literally doing nothing. I can't do that. I can't do nothing.
I can do nothing all the time.
2 hours spent napping and a full hour devoted to dreading the next day. Unrelated or maybe related survey, a poll from Apple Vacations found 30% of millennials feel that relaxing when on vacation is a waste of time. Well, that's when you're supposed to relax.
Exactly.
I don't know. I can't do the whole nothing thing. I come home once in a while. Heidi, I'll be just sitting there, no music, no TV, just sitting there staring ahead. I'm like, are you all right? I feel like I just walked into the Twilight Zone. What are you doing? Nothing. Literally nothing. I'm like, wow. You should probably see someone about that. Surveys and studies and such. Brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by Genesis Gold, IRA.com. Heidi, did you know that this might actually be kind of thing? Roses don't have thorns. Yeah.
What?
Thorns actually describe the sharp woody points of a certain shrub or tree, including honey locusts and citrus trees. Roses, on the other hand, have prickles that form from the skin of the plant, similar to the way hair grows on humans. I can only imagine the song, "Every rose has its prickles." Yeah, that just doesn't work. We're going to stick with thorns. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by Radiosavings.com. Robert Downey Jr. will reprise his role as Tony Stark / Iron Man in a pair of Disney attractions for Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure, part of the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim. That's a long title.
It really is a long title.
Imagine just handing out cards to let people know where they are. As part of the D23 Park panel, it was announced Downey Jr., who was recently revealed to be returning to the MCU as a bad guy, Dr. Doom, in 2 different Avenger movies. He'll be part of the attraction. Avengers Infinity Defense, which utilizes a ride vehicle technology similar to the Peter Pan attraction that opened at Tokyo Disney Sea. The other attraction is called Star Flight Lab, and it utilizes a robotic arm to help guests test cutting-edge Stark technology. So, yeah.
Yeah, right?
I think so. I might have had a stroke in the middle of that. I'm not sure. We're going to move on. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. Research shows that if you want to boost your memory, close your eyes for a while. So if you're trying to remember something, close your eyes and somehow, seeing if that helps me remember anything.
Okay.
It's telling me to open your eyes and go back to work. Okay, yeah, that didn't work for me, but maybe, your results may vary. Do you think that would help you to remember where something is or remember whatever?
I don't know. We'll have to try it next
Research
time
says
I'm having
if you want
issues.
to boost your memory, close your eyes for a while. I encourage you to do that, unless, of course, you're driving. Then don't do that. Don't do that at all. All right, moving on. People have been using words like whatchamacallit and gizmo and thingamajig in place of words they can't think of for a long, long time.
They should close their eyes.
Yeah, they should close their eyes, and they would probably remember all of those things. The Oxford English Dictionary has its own category for these terms, labeled as thing or person whose name is forgotten or unknown. It includes 64 entries, some going back as far as the early Middle English period from 1100 to 1300, but not all of them are still in use today. The last known use of the word whiblin was 1652. Well, we just used it. I kind of want to start using it. W-H-I-B-L-I-N, whiblin.
I've never heard that word, so I would agree with that time frame.
Jugamabob, Jigumbob, Jigumbob, I don't know. It's officially deemed obsolete as well, probably because it's too hard to say. Others like gizmo and doodah are still in common use, and you can even buy a whatchamacallit or a who's a what's-its. They're chocolate bars made by Hershey's. Now, I see whatchamacallits all the time. I never see the who's a what's-its. Do you?
No.
I think they had a thingamajig for a while, too, didn't they?
I remember the thingamajig.
And I think that was like a peanut butter version.
And that might still be out there. I don't know.
Well, it's not in this story, so I don't know. I'm going to have to go on the Hershey's website now and see what I'm missing out on. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Today is National Financial Awareness Day, and I couldn't think of anybody better to get on the phone and talk with than Mr. Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers man. Jordan, happy National Financial Awareness Day to you. How are you going to celebrate today?
I'm going to celebrate by making you financially aware and all the audience as well.
Well, and you do that often, and we always appreciate it. And today we're gonna talk about something that should interest everybody. We're going to talk about interest rates because they're on the move, aren't they?
Well, they have been. The long-term Treasury yield has been falling pretty sharply recently because people are fearing that the economy is slower than expected. We had a pretty weak unemployment report with the unemployment rate going up to 4.3%. A year ago, it was 3.4, so it's really moved pretty sharply in the last year or so. And so people think that's going to put pressure on the Federal Reserve, which has kept interest rates the same for a year, to start lowering rates at their September meeting. They've been at 5.5% for a long time. They'd bring it down probably by a quarter point to 5.25, and then maybe another cut or two this year as well, because they feel that inflation is not all the way down to 2%, but it's in the 2% range, so it's down enough for them to start easing what's been a pretty tight monetary supply for quite a while here. So that means that mortgage rates have started to come down. Mortgage rates have gotten well over 7%, and now they're about 6.5%. Still pretty high for most people, but at least they're moving in the right direction. But I don't think we're going to get back to the days of 3 and 4% mortgage rates, John. That's not going to be happening. They're still going to be in the 5 and 6% rate going forward here.
So this is good news for some and not so good news for others, and it probably depends on if you have money that's earning interest or if you are paying interest, right?
Well, that's right. If you have money earning interest, it's still going to be relatively high. I mean, money market funds are still paying 4.5%. Probably going to stay pretty much like that. So that's not bad. We were used to people getting 0% for a very long time in money market funds. So this is certainly better than it used to be there. And as far as those paying interest, mortgage rates may come down a little bit, but the other ones are very high. I mean, credit cards are 25%, student loans are like 7%, car loans 10%. I mean, people still pay an awful lot of interest out there, and those relatively high rates are not going to come down significantly.
And when you look at the economy and you look at everything financial, everything's tied to something else. And right now, I wish we could say that, the world is at peace and everything is good and, it's just a beautiful, wonderful climate for everything, but that's not the case. So if something happens, it could literally change everything financially, couldn't it?
Well, we felt good when the Olympics ended, so that was good. We had world peace for at least a day.
Yeah.
But then, back to reality, unfortunately. And it looks highly likely there's going to be a major all-out war in the Middle East. Israel killed some of the top commanders of Hamas and Hezbollah, and Iran is going to shoot missiles, and then Israel will shoot back, and we're involved. We got planes all over the place, and the Houthis are shooting at ships in the Red Sea, and Hezbollah is lobbing rockets into Israel, and Gaza is still a complete mess. So the whole Middle East could explode. It's on the verge of exploding right now. And that would slow the economy worldwide. It could disrupt oil supplies, and that's a depressant on the world economy when you have wars like that. So let's hope it doesn't happen, but right now it's looking likely to happen.
So in a situation like this, is there a place that is the safest place? Because I know everything is, there's an opportunity for something to happen, but is there a safe haven when it comes to me trying to squirrel away my little nest egg and make sure that it weathers the storm?
Well, I would say treasuries and gold would be the two safe havens. Treasury bonds are yielding about 4%, something like that, and we're not going to default on national debt. And then gold has been going up a lot, because it's a classic hedge against uncertainty, and particularly war. So a gold exchange traded fund like GLD or gold mining shares, there are things you can do to safeguard your money, and those would be the two best places to do it.
And if somebody would like to learn more, they can always reach out to you through your website. Is that the best way for them to connect with you, Jordan?
The easiest way is my email, jordan@moneyanswers.com. Always glad to help you listeners.
Very nice. Again, Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers man. Again, his website, moneyanswers.com. And thank you so much for listening on this Wednesday. Again, today, it's a special day, National Financial Awareness Day. And we did our part to make you more financially aware.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When a computer mouse was invented, it was called the XY position indicator for a display system. And then somebody goes, it's got a little tail, like a gerbil. We should call it a gerbil. And they're like, no, how about a mouse?
I kind of like the new name a little better. Otherwise,
XY
it would
position indicator. Have you seen my XY position indicator for display system? Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The only number whose letters are in alphabetical order is what? Which number? Do you know? Wrong. 40. F-O-R-T-Y.
I would have never. I'm starting to go through all the numbers.
I know.
In my
I don't
head.
have that kind of time. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Facebook analysts found the most breakups occur, or at least they post them to Facebook, 1 or 2 weeks before Christmas, around Easter, and on Mondays. So there you go.
Because they don't want to buy Christmas presents.
That could be. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When the Mummy Ramses II was sent to France in the mid-70s, it was issued a passport. Occupation said king, deceased, on his passport.
Huh.
And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Kids are more likely to trust attractive adults. That's why they trust Heidi, and when they look at me, they just turn around and run. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy. Enough so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. A survey found that the worst thing a guy can do for a dating profile is to not wear a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
What comes in second in a dating profile photo? Not wearing a shirt is number one. What's number two?
Wearing a wife beater.
No, wearing sunglasses.
Oh.
So if you're wearing sunglasses
Really?
and no shirt, chances are that's not helping. Troy, just say yeah. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. The world's biggest indoor snow and ice theme park is open in China, and residents and visitors of the city are now getting the chance to enjoy wintry temperatures year-round. Harbin, I think, is the name of the city.
Why would you want that?
They're calling it Ice City. They didn't already get enough winter there, apparently. During the month's opening ceremonies, Guinness awarded Harbin Ice and Show World. I think it's supposed to be Ice and Snow World. Official certification as the world's largest indoor ice and snow theme park, covering 23,800 square meters. That seems like a lot. 9 different sections, 13 interactive projects. They offer an immersive experience utilizing advanced ice sculpting techniques and cutting-edge lighting, sound, and interactive technologies. Visitors are said to be able to enjoy a magical atmosphere filled with ice, light, entertainment, gourmet food, and cultural creations. There's also vibrant ice sculptures of fruit, ice cream, and cakes. So, I don't know how that ended up as weird news, but I think I might have put that in the wrong place. That is kind of weird.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's not as weird as normal. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Analysts from Jeff Bet, I don't even know what that is, it did tour data for the 200 most popular music artists from 2019 through last year, and they have the highest average ticket prices and the most expensive concerts to see based on how much you would pay per minute, taking into account the ticket prices and each artist's average concert length. So today, we're going to go through the top 10 average ticket prices, the highest average ticket prices. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the most expensive artists per minute.
Okay.
You'd think that they'd be the same, but it looks as though they are different. So, highest average ticket prices in U.S. dollars. Paul McCartney, number 10, at $174 for a ticket. That's the average.
That. Okay.
So there were some that were more and some that were less. Their average was $174. Genesis, $176. Rolling Stones, $207. Beyonce, $209. Eagles, $219. Bruno Mars, $218. George Strait, $232. Drake, $239.
Wow.
Who do you think number one is, by the way?
Jeez, I don't know.
Nope, it's not. I don't know. Taylor Swift is number 2.
Oh, okay.
I thought you'd guess her. $239. And U2 has the highest average ticket price of $272.
Wow.
We'll continue this conversation tomorrow. It's the list. And I've got all of the information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today from comedian Richard Jenny. He's a funny dude. He said, Honesty is the key to a relationship. If you can fake that, you're in. I love those kind of quotes. Isn't that just the best?
That is funny.
I just think that is so funny. Richard Jenny. And again, my kind of humor right there. Thank you for listening to your quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And what a story. I think this is just a great, great thing. And there's so many amazing stories that we could choose from, but I'm gonna do this one today from Massachusetts. Man returns rare coins bought at a family yard sale, leaving a heartfelt message. So think about this. You go to a yard sale, you buy something, and you get some cheap thing and you're expecting whatever, and then you find a bunch of rare coins that they probably didn't know were in there.
Right.
What would you do? Well, a family was deeply moved by an unexpected act of kindness. Unbeknownst to them, some rare coins were mixed in with an item that they sold at a yard sale, but it was returned by the guy who bought it with a heartfelt note. The family had an emotional year, relocating their elderly father from his home and selling his house along with many of his possessions. He said, "It was nice because my brother and I got to spend some time together at the house and did a lot of reminiscing," Steve said, in the family. However, what they gained from something given away left their lasting impression. It said, we would have never known. We didn't know that stuff was even in there, and we never would have missed it. Yard sale customer bought a box of costume jewelry for $6.
Okay.
So it's just a jewelry box.
Right.
A bunch of, costume jewelry. Days later, he tracked the family down through the realtor who had the home listed. So it's not like he could just walk back up.
Right.
He went to a lot of effort to do this.
To find them.
He said, "I don't remember seeing this." And Steve said, holding a small box of coins, "This is what he put in the mailbox." He said they were worth over $200. And he said, "I don't know the value of these coins." More touching than the item's return were the words that accompanied them. The customer also left a note. It said, "I just wanted to share a quote with you that has guided me to a richer life." He read the note. "Beware of over-concern for money, position, or glory. Someday you will meet a man who cares for none of these things. You will know how poor you are. Kipling." And he signed off, "Take care, Mike." So he returned the coins.
Right.
And basically was just saying, hey, you know what? These belong to you. They don't belong to me.
Yeah,
so
that's
it wasn't
pretty
about,
great.
because there are some people who would have been like, whoa, I got a heck of a deal. And you see that all the time where people that, they buy something at a yard sale and it turns out to be a super expensive thing. So I think that is just amazing that this particular person found, in a $6 purchase, hundreds of dollars worth of coins.
Right.
And the boys who were selling this stuff didn't know it was in there. It was their dad's. So I think it's really, really cool. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Great. Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.